Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Topping our news at noon, Buffalo Bills player Demar Hamlin is sedated and still in critical condition after collapsing on the field during Monday Night Football. The 24-year-old suffered cardiac arrest during the first quarter of the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. We know that his heartbeat was restored right there on the field, but that he was rushed to a hospital in Cincinnati to undergo treatment and further testing. Fans from both Cincinnati and Buffalo gathered outside of UC Medical Center throughout the night there in Ohio. In a moment, we'll be joined by Dr. Frank McGeorge to talk more about Hamlin's condition and what his insight is on what may have happened that led to that. We also want to start with Maggie Vespa in Cincinnati. She is outside of the hospital where Hamlin is being treated. Maggie?
We're told by the Buffalo Bills that Demar Hamlin is inside the Cincinnati hospital, this trauma center, sedated and in critical condition after, according to the Bills, suffering a cardiac arrest overnight at that game here in Cincinnati. As you saw, it was an incredibly scary ordeal. Players on both sides, on both teams, openly weeping on the field, consoling each other as medical personnel worked to save Hamlin's life. Fans of the stands and, of course, all the fans at home completely stunned by what they were seeing. The NFL taking the very rare step of postponing the game after Hamlin was taken off the field in an ambulance and again brought to this hospital. Overnight, the outpouring on social media of love and support for Hamlin has just been staggering, including from T. Higgins, who of course was the Bengals player who collided with Hamlin just before this episode happened. He tweeted overnight saying he has support and is sending love to Hamlin and to his family, and of course that being echoed by a number of players, including the Bills' star quarterback Josh Allen. At the same time, questions from the NFL as to what's next, how they move forward, including one question overnight from a reporter about, for those wondering about the game, when will it be rescheduled? The NFL just saying that is far from their focus because they, like everyone else right now, they say their focus is on Hamlin, his health, and supporting their community. So they'll deal with that, they say, down the line. At the same time, they also note, as do a number of experts, this is just a very real reminder of the dangers and the risks these players face every single time they step on the field. Back to you.
All right, Maggie, thank you. We are joined, thankfully, we have Dr. Frank McGeorge here with us all the time to help give us better perspective on what may have happened. We know that Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest right there on the field. And I know there's been a lot of speculation about what may have caused something like that to happen so instantly.
Yeah, well, it was probably a condition known as commotio cordis. That's basically if a person is hit in a specific location on the chest with a certain amount of force, with a really specific timing relative to where in the cardiac cycle the person is, that blow can actually induce ventricular fibrillation. That's where the heart muscle basically begins beating in a completely disorganized fashion, and it cannot pump blood forward. It's essentially the same rhythm that we usually see during a sudden cardiac arrest that happens usually with a heart attack.
So just in reading about this, I know that it's happened in other sports that have projectiles, like
right.
a puck or a baseball.
Yeah.
We don't see this happening in professional football, despite how physical it is and how much these players are hitting each other so much. Why is that?
Well, you know, you would think with all the hits that they take, we might see it more often. But the thing is that blow to the chest and basically the heart underneath has to occur during a very specific moment in a person's cardiac cycle. So most hits to the chest just wouldn't be expected to trigger this arrhythmia. Now, there's also a lot of theory that certain people might be more susceptible. Now, certain subtle electrical abnormalities of a person's heart could actually increase their risk. That's potentially important for younger athletes who might not have had a really good cardiac screening. Thing is, most NFL players, I would expect, have had thorough evaluations, and I would not expect them to have any underlying cardiac abnormalities. Now, I should also point out that, as you identified, commotio cordis is more common in other sports, specifically baseball, where players might be hit in the chest by balls at higher speed. Overall, though, the condition is very rare, maybe about 10 to 20 cases per year in the United States.
Unbelievable to watch that all unfold right before our eyes. So the fact that this was a sudden event and he didn't actually have an underlying heart condition that we know of.
Probably, right.
What are the prospects for his recovery from this, for him to wake up and get out of the hospital? Forgetting about even football at this point.
Well, you know, the most important thing is that he had very prompt CPR and a defibrillator, and AED was brought to the sideline. But, you know, as you could see, he spent a great deal of time on the field afterwards, so it's really hard for me to kind of guess exactly how much time he spent without a good pulse. Depending on how long that was, he could still have a good recovery. Generally, the first 24 hours after cardiac arrest really say a lot about how well a person's going to recover. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait for more information, probably sometime in the next day or so. We'll know more.
Certainly scary, of course, for anyone that plays sports
Absolutely.
like this. And for parents, of course, that have children that want to be supreme athletes like these football heroes that they see on TV. It's really frightening.
Yeah, and I'll have more today, actually, you know, during the 5 and 6 specifically, about what this condition is and really things that you can use to identify who might be at slightly higher risk.
All right. Well, we always appreciate your perspective and also the visuals that help bring it all home.
Brought my heart.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Sure.
Fans and players are showing their support online, and they continue to donate to Hamlin's toy drive. Hamlin started this toy drive during the pandemic to buy toys for kids in need. Actually read about it and saw some video from it on his Instagram page. He originally actually set a goal for the most recent one for $2,500. Well, donations started surging because people saw and found this GoFundMe page, and guess what? At last check, more than $3.8 million has been raised for his toy drive. So many people, just an outpouring of support for him, looking for ways that they can help and show their support, and doing this by enabling him to give back when he's back up on his feet is just incredible. So we are certainly praying for him and keeping all of the Buffalo Bills organization in our thoughts and prayers. We do want to turn now here at home because this has been the gloomy view all day long with the rain and the fog, and we still have that low cloud deck as we speak. So let's get over to Brandon and talk about, I'm certain we're probably not going to see the sun today.
No, we will though.
Really?
March.
Not today.
It is the sort of doom and gloom of January. It is upon us, but we have a warm front that is going to be pushing through, so at least we're going to be on the mild side. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're being careful in these conditions. It is pretty mild. We're already, 5 to 8 degrees above average here at noon. Visibility is down in places like Adrian, but I don't think fog is the big problem. More rain showers, Lenawee County. The rest of us, a little soupy here, but on exact track 4D radar, you can see lighter rain showers, and then we go out to Oakland County, Livingston County, and we start to see some breaks. So although, yes, Lenawee County is getting some action right now, we are going to see fewer and fewer showers as we go through your afternoon, and that will allow temperatures to try and warm up to near 50 degrees. Will we hit it? Well, you can check it out, as always, on the Forewarn weather app. 1,000% free for you, for everyone. It's got the interactive radar. You can track the ending of the showers, and more showers are to come. Rhonda?
All right, Brandon, thank you. A new Congress is being sworn in as we speak. So let's take a live look at Capitol Hill. A lot of activity going on there as lawmakers are returning for the 118th Congress. Republicans are taking control of the House, with California Representative Kevin McCarthy vying to take over as House Speaker. But we may not have enough support. He may not. Today could mark the first time in 100 years that a party leader doesn't win on the first round. McCarthy just talked to reporters.
So we may have a battle on the floor, but the battle is for the conference and the country, and that's fine with me.
On the other side of the aisle, Hakeem Jeffries is replacing Nancy Pelosi as the leader of the House Democrats. He is the first black leader in Congress. And you probably already noticed this, but gas prices have ticked back up this year. AAA says that prices in Metro Detroit are up about 19 cents in the past week to an average of $3.21 per gallon. It's still 25 gallons less than last month. Experts say that an increase in crude oil prices and a busy holiday travel season led to the increase.